Hello and welcome to the show. This is one of those late night recordings, so let's expect to hear some interruptions in the background. I apologize in advance if anything happens to interrupt today's recording. Now, today, I want us to look at more interesting ways of doing WhatsApp outreach, and then we're going to dissect and come through with a couple of revisions that will make this WhatsApp much more workable. Now, some of you might be saying, another WhatsApp episode, and my answer is yes, this is another WhatsApp episode, and I'm going to keep doing WhatsApp episodes because lots of people are still trying to do outreach on WhatsApp. I receive these things on a weekly basis, and some ideas are good, some ideas are not, but either way, I know that if I'm receiving 2, 3, 4, 5 of these messages, then there's a bunch of you on the podcast listening right now who are definitely trying out these sorts of things, and it would be a shame if I'm aware that stuff like this is going on and I'm not telling you guys that, look, this is bad, stop it, or this is good, continue. So that's why these tear down episodes, where I take a WhatsApp message, WhatsApp outreach, email outreach, phone call outreach, whatever it is, and dissect it over here. So I'm going to read the message below. I'll read the message right after this. Let me see. Scrolling through. So the message went like this. This Instagram wahala, and then frowning emoji. So this Instagram wahala, frowning emoji. Most photographers and videographers spend hours responding to inquiries, negotiating prices, and following up, yet clients still ghost them. A website helps you attract high-paying clients and contracts, showcase your work professionally, and secure bookings 24/7 without the endless back and forth. At XYZ, we help photographers and videographers set up an online booking system. Clients can book and pay hassle-free. Attract corporate and premium clients. Get discovered by brands, agencies, and high-budget clients. Rank on Google so clients find you first, not your competitors. More contracts, bigger deals, less stress. Ready to level up? Reply yes, and I'll show you how. So that's the message. Of course, the typical thing that I say about this thing being too long, because remember, most people are reading these things on their mobile phones. If somebody has to flick 2 or 3 times, you've made this thing too long. So craft this thing. Let it just be 1 flick, tops, maybe 2. But let's not give people work. Because I suspect, I don't know if there's any research done in Nigeria, but in the West it's terrible. It looks like the average person, in fact, it looks like most people, if it's email, are just reading the subject line and deciding to delete based on subject line alone. So I'll be surprised if the actual practice in Nigeria is close, the same thing. But bottom line, keep it short. Let people not be flicking 2, 3 times. In fact, this kind of message that somebody's flicking 3 or 4 times, I think you've already lost the game. However, there are some good things about this message. The opener isn't typical. When I saw it, it got me curious to see what the message was about, even though I didn't have the number stored on my phone. And I think that what this guy did was a good way to achieve pattern interruption. Now, pattern interruption is how will I put it? Like a technique. Okay, not really a technique. It's a state of mind. It's a principle that we're trying to achieve, where we're trying to break people out of their typical behaviors, break people from the usual patterns, and that gives us a chance to now just quickly drop our message in. So that is what anyway, let me not go too far, but basically pattern interruption is another way of getting people's attention so that you can now drop your message. So the way that the guy started the message by saying this Instagram wahala and then frowning emoji or crying emoji or sad emoji, whatever that emoji is called. So starting it off that way, I actually assumed that, okay, this is somebody I've been having a conversation with prior, and then the person has replied. So that was my own frame of mind, and then I clicked, and then of course it turned out to be outreach. So let's give the guy props for that. he didn't use a typical opener, and he achieved pattern interruption. So I was broken out of my typical behavior. I was broken out of my usual pattern, and that is the reason why I gave this message a chance. And it's the same sort of thing that could have worked on anyone. Let's say like my wife or my mom or my brother. I mean, somebody responds and says, somebody sends you a message like, "Oh, sorry, let me check again. This Instagram wahala." And it could be anybody. It could be one of Momsy's classmates, because my Momsy, she's on a WhatsApp group with a couple of her classmates. That's how they keep in touch. People make it seem as if old people don't adopt technology, but they actually do. In fact, they even adopt it much better than some of us who are young. So, it could be somebody from the group just replying, anything. So, pattern interruption, that is something that we can try to use, and I think that this is one thing that the guy did well. Now, the problem with the message, for those of you who have been listening to the podcast, the other problem. There are too many embedded conversations and questions within it, and too many sections. So we're better off separating this thing into individual interactions so that one message will carry one point of view. If we keep writing these messages where, you send your message and your message is talking about 4 things, and each thing has, 2 calls to action next to it. I mean, at the end of the day, like, what is the person going to respond to really? But if you send one message and one is one, and that message has one point of view, and the message has one question or one call to action, then the chances that people respond are higher. So, a much more effective strategy, and let me repeat again, in case you guys are not getting it, the much more effective strategy is we should be sending these messages and trying to entice people into a conversation. So this guy did a good job. Pattern interruption, broke me from my usual pattern, and then what did he do? He wasted it on a sales pitch. It's not about how much you can talk at people. The goal is to try and have a conversation with someone. It's not about talking at someone and telling and pitching and pitching and pitching. It's about trying to lure somebody into a conversation. When we entice someone into a conversation, then we can do qualification and discovery. If you're new listening to this podcast, if this is your first episode, when you're done, go and listen to the episode that came prior to this one. I spoke about qualification and discovery. That is where you're finding out about people. Who are you? What are you about? What's the problem? What's the vision? Then you can now give them a tailored solution. So that you stop this whole rubbish where you send this message and then you tell them, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. In fact, let me give you the same test I give everybody in each episode. As you're listening to this podcast episode right now, just stop. Give yourself like 2 seconds. Try and remember, what exactly is this guy selling? You don't know. You would have to pause this thing, rewind back, listen again for you to remember what this guy is selling. I'm asking you now, be honest with yourself. What is this guy selling? You don't know, because it's a bit much. A funny thing is, some of you are sending messages like this guy, and you wake up, you blast it to 2,000 people on your phone, and you pat yourself on the back. You say, "Oh, self, I've done work today." Which kind of work? You sent a message to 4,000 people, and out of that 4,000 people, 3,999 of them ignored. Only one person read. What kind of work is that? What kind of progress is that? So, try and entice people into a conversation. Figure out what they're about. Figure out what the problem is. Then you now be able to make a tailored solution that, for this problem that you're solving, we can now... So, you know what? Let me just scroll up and see again. What is it that this guy is offering? Okay, so he's selling websites basically. So they can say we can set up online booking system, attract corporate and premium clients, rank on Google, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the usual. But this is what I'm trying to say. If you entice somebody into a conversation, there's somebody that the problem that they need to solve right now is that they don't have online booking system. You will now be able to make a sales pitch for online booking system only, and ignore that whole thing of attracting corporate and premium, ranking on Google, and blah blah blah. That is how you make an impression on someone. That is how somebody will know that, oh, okay, this is what it is that this person is selling. So, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, summary, we're trying to entice people into a conversation. It's not about talking at people. Then, when we're in the conversation with them, it's about qualification and discovery. Who is this person? What are they about? Do they have a business? Don't they have a business? What business problems are they trying to solve? Blah, blah, blah. What's the vision? Okay, based on what it is that I have for sale, this is the tailored solution I can give them. Now, when you also engage people like this, it makes them feel like they are not being mass marketed to or being spammed to. Nobody likes being spammed to. Nobody does. Because we were in the business space, we've gotten into the habit of sending spam messages every day. You broadcast to 4,000 people every day. So for us, it's become a nasty habit. But the thing is, the people on the receiving end, they don't like it. If you don't believe me, next time you go home, go and check your mom's phone. You will see that all these spam messages that you're sending your mom is not even reading it. Popsy is not even reading it. Your baby is not reading it. Your boyfriend is not reading it. Even the people who love you, they're tired of being spammed with all these messages. Nobody likes being spammed. But if there's an individual one-on-one conversation, most people dig that kind of thing. So my recommendation is the same one I gave when talking about the other guy. Let's use a problem-based opener. Now, based on what this guy said in his message, let's use the original text in the message. I'm not saying I agree with the words, but I'm just trying to show you how, even if we're going to use his words, let's just see how we can reframe this thing. So, problem-based opener. So this is what the guy should have done. My own recommendation. The first blast that you send to everybody is, are you a photographer or videographer who spends hours responding to inquiries, negotiating prices and following up, but clients are still ghosting you? Send. Can you see that this message is short? You don't even have to flick. Once you open it, everything will just be on the screen like that. Bam. And people get the point. Somebody now who is a hairstylist or whatever, the person will just ignore. So that now it's not a problem. But the thing is, it's short, it's straight to the point, it's targeted. Those people who are photographers or videographers, they will read on. Especially those who have a problem with ghosting. Now, like I mentioned in previous episodes, some people will ignore, some people will respond. The people that ignore, no problem, ignore them. We will get to that problem later. But for those that respond, that is where the gold is, and that is where we're going to make progress. So for those people now, you are now going to be involved in an individual conversation. And this is the reason why people prefer to spam. Because they think, man, this is work. Of course this thing is work. Where do you think the money comes from? Yes, now Zuckerberg, them, and all these people are spamming people up and down. But in the beginning, do you think Zuckerberg was spamming everybody? In the beginning, when Facebook was fresh, wasn't it a matter of talking to people one-on-one? Hey, oh boy, how far now? I have this website, blah, 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 blah. The hottest chicks on Harvard are on it. So, just join now. Come and see what's up. In the beginning, it's a one-on-one something. Later on, things get traction and you can now do automating and everything. But too many of you guys want to rush and start automating from the beginning. Like, what are you automating? Take your time. Do this thing on a one-on-one basis first. Figure out exactly what it is that is going on. Establish the workbook. Establish the playbook. Establish the framework. After that, you can use AI, chatbots, whatever, and now be automating. Too many of you are rushing to automation in the beginning. What are you automating? Anyway, so that's the first message. Are you a photographer or videographer who spends hours responding to inquiries, negotiating prices, and following up, yet clients are ghosting you? Send. Some people will respond. And then you will now build your future messages around that whole thing of, Using websites, you can attract high-paying clients, and you can show your work, and you can secure bookings. So all that extra things, that's the subject of future conversations. When you now know who they are, what stage of business they're at, the kind of clients that they want to attract, all those sorts of things. But you know what? There's one issue. Hey, I remember that's the reason why I wanted to make this episode. There's one issue that I think we should consider. The thing is, this guy that is sending this message, he has this mistaken belief that a website can sell for you without you doing anything. Yeah, that's even the main reason why I wanted to make this episode. There's some of you that think you set up a website and the website is going to sell for you without you doing anything. Is that possible? That if you set up a website, all your problems will be solved? The answer is, it depends. There are some people that, yes, if you set up a website, the website will solve all your problems because it will sell for you. Now, this is the bad news. It does not apply to people who are professional service providers. Let me repeat. There are some people that if you set up a website, the website will sell for you and you don't have to do a thing. And the business will work well. However, it does not apply to people who are professional service providers. An example, Amazon is good for selling anything and everything. So if you set up your website right, like Amazon, yeah, you might be able to go to sleep and not have to talk to a single customer, and the website will sell fine for you and you'll be rich. But have you noticed that you can sell anything on Amazon, but you can't sell professional services on Amazon? Painters cannot sell their services on Amazon. Wedding photographers cannot sell their services on Amazon. Lawyer, accountant, architect, those people cannot sell their services on Amazon. In fact, service providers, where do they sell their services? In the West. It's not on the, is it Upwork, Abi? Upwork, what's this other website now? Upwork, Fiverr, them, all these places. And what happens on the website? A client has a look at your profile and then they send you a DM. You guys now start to be DMing back and forth. Because when it comes to selling professional services, there is no automating nothing. You have to talk to someone if you're a professional service provider. So perish the thought, if you're a service provider, that you set up a website and your problems are solved. It is not going to happen. Now let us look at the criteria for products that sell easily, that sell well online without human interaction. Remember what I said. Can a website solve all your problems? You just set up the website and go to sleep. The website will be selling for you. The answer is it depends. There are some products that, yes, you can do that. If you're a service provider, it's not going to work. So for easy online sales, where no human is involved, the thing has to be standardized and easy to describe. So the product should be clear and have consistent specifications. Let's go back to this wedding photographer and videographer thing. So wedding photography services, you can't standardize it. You can't. But to sell the camera can be standardized, which is the reason why we have websites like B&H. That's for those of you who buy video equipment and photo equipment. We all know B&H. You go to B&H, you see the thing there. You see the specifications there. This is the size of the lens. This is the aperture. For the body, is it full frame or not? This is the size of the sensor. These are the megapixels. This is the aspect ratio. You see everything there because it is standardized and it is easy to describe. You can just do bullet point, describe it. Bullet point, describe it. Customers will easily understand what it is that they're buying based on the detailed description, based on the images, based on the videos. In these sorts of cases, some people say there's no need for personalized explanation. Although in my own opinion, it would help. It would help. So you want to be in the kind of business where you set up your website and the website does everything for you. My brother, my sister, go and look for a business or go and look for a product that is standardized and easy to describe. Don't go and sell services. A website cannot sell services for you. Then it also has to be goods that have high visual appeal and clear presentation. That's why I keep going back to our sisters who sell human hair. 57 inches, 100 inches, or however long the human hair is going to be. You get a nice model, you put the thing on her head, she does that shaking thing so that you can see that the human hair has body and bounce. She walk back, she walk front. So you see that 56 inches, the hair goes from the top of her head all the way to the middle of her calf. You can see it. The lighting is good. The light is bouncing off of the human hair, so you can see the way it's reflecting and everything. So that kind of thing, yes. You can set up your website, set up your Instagram, and then go and sleep. And then people will look at the visual appeal. They will see the clear presentation. They will see the sharp video. And they'll be like, this human hair is off the chain. Then they will now start pinging you. That, we like this one though. But I don't have money for 57 inches. 32 inches, how much will it cost? Or we saw the one that comes from Mogadishu, but we don't have money. So the one the human hair that comes from Benin Republic, how much is it? You can see that sort of thing. You can set up your website, set up your whatever, and then go and sleep. For services, Then, let's see what else. Okay, low risk, low complexity. So basically, you just want a product that the chances of it being damaged is very, very small, or the chances of returns are very, very small. So simple products that straightforward functionality, basically. Like my earphones. I bought the earphones from Amazon. It's relatively straightforward. That's my Bluetooth, my wireless headphones with microphone. Oh, sorry about that noise. NEPA just took light, so that's the inverter just kicking off. Where was I? Okay, that's my alarm. Okay, 11 o'clock. I should be going to bed off because I have school runs in the morning. This is the problem with waiting when you're old to have kids. So I'm telling you guys, the earlier you have your children, the better. If you can start when you're 25, 30, it helps. So you don't end up being my own age, and then you're now worrying that, tomorrow morning I have school runs. So a word is enough for the wise. In fact, I should make a podcast episode because so many young men are afraid of marriage these days. I don't know what's going on. It's like a pandemic of marriage. Anyway, that's another podcast episode. Then, let's see. Okay, we also want something with established market demand. Those kind of things you can sell easily on the website. Something that you can ship it easily or do digital delivery. Those things, they sell well on websites. Something that has clear pricing or clear payment options. You can sell that thing on the website. And see, this is the problem with selling services. If you want to book an accountant to come and do forensic accounting for your firm, it's not something you can put on the website that for one accountant pay this, for two accountants pay that, for five accountants pay this. That's not how it works. It's going to depend. What are you trying to do? How many documents is the person going to look at? How many years worth of documents is the person going to look at to try and figure out who is stealing your money? Those are the things that the forensic accountant will have to have a conversation with you. What kind of business are you doing? How long have you been doing the business? How many employees do you have? How many records have you been keeping? Okay, you've been in business for 12 years. You only have records for 8. What kind of records do you have? All these sorts of things. All this back and forth. So a question is necessary. So you can't just set up a website as an accountant and say you go and sleep. The website will sell for you. It's not going to work. Then, let's see. So, those are the factors. That's the reason why I say the things that sell easily online you don't need human interaction. Digital products, ebooks. Set up your website to sell your ebook. Go and sleep. The website will sell your ebook for you. Software, you can do that. Music, videos, online courses, stock photos. Your website will sell it for you. Set up the website, go and sleep. Your market will be moving if you did a good job. Physical products, so books, DVD, camera, video game. What else? You get the whole idea, Sha. Content that you can download, yeah, your website can sell for you. Templates, digital arts, all these kind of things. Sorry, excuse me. So, the reason why some of these things you can sell them very easily online is because basically the customer knows what to expect and they can make an informed decision without talking to someone. Sorry, excuse me. Also because the process is more or less is streamlined, and then delivery is easy. You can easily search the product and then you can compare. So like for my headphones that I bought, I opened it, I put it in one tab, I opened another one, I put in another tab. I was now checking back and forth. Okay, this one is so and so pounds, this one is so and so pounds. Which one is more cheaper? Is it pounds or dollars? Okay, dollars. Let me close this tab. Open this one. This one is so and so dollar. Open this one. This one is so and so dollar. Okay, this one it lasts for 100 hours. This one it lasts for 200 hours. This one, the impedance is this. The resistance is this. This one, the color is black. This one, the color is this. The microphone, is it noise cancelling? This one is not noise cancelling. You see, you open and just be doing it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But for services, you can't open one tab and then start comparing two accountants that way. Doesn't work that way. So basically, if you're a service professional, you're a photographer, you're a video person, you're a lawyer, accounting, medicine, don't believe what this guy is telling you. Just in case this guy sent you this message that he sent me and you call him to go and do website for you, the website will not do all the selling for you. At some point, you will have to pick up the phone. You will have to email somebody. You will have to SMS somebody. You will have to visit somebody. You will have to get somebody to visit you. You will have to book an appointment. You will have to do something to close this deal. So if somebody's sending you this kind of WhatsApp message, don't believe them. There's no website that is going to solve all your problems. None. If you sell human hair, yes, with the right website, with the right promotional copy, with the right video, with the right lighting, with the right everything, you can set this thing up and then go and sleep and your market will move. But if you're a service provider, no way at all. Maybe when we get to heaven, but on earth, the way earth is, no way. Because if you're a service provider, the things that you sell are not standardized. You can't open up two websites and then be comparing business consultants like that. Eventually, you want to talk to one or two business consultants and decide from among them. Because your solutions, that's from the point of view of the service provider, the solutions have to be customized to the individual. So it even makes sense for you to even pick up the phone and talk to them or ping them back and forth. For service providers, customers don't really know what it is that they're buying. Back to this whole thing of a forensic accountant or an architect. The customer doesn't really know what they're buying. It's not until they talk to you and you people talk back and forth that they now start to understand exactly what it is that they're buying. Then on this thing of risk and complexity, when it comes to service providers, the level of risk is high because nobody wants to pay 1M for wedding photography and video only to discover that this photographer herself is an idiot. I don't like him. Nobody wants to do that. It's high risk. That's the reason why they would like to talk to someone, and that's the reason why you should talk to someone. Because imagine collecting somebody's money, 1M. You're going to provide photography and video for them. You mobilize the boys, and then they quarrel. But, school fees was due, this and this and that and that. So to be honest, you collected the 1M, you've already spent 800k. So you know that refund is out of the question. Because, of course, you've already mobilized boys anyway. Not to talk of spending half the money, more than half the money. You can see that these kind of things is high risk and high complexity. That is why no website is going to sell for you if you're a service provider. Then on the thing of pricing and payment options, you can't price your photography service or your accounting service the way that you price fish in the market. It can't work that way. Or that you price human hair. That if it's Bangladeshi human hair, 57 inches, 700k. But then if you buy two, we give you 25% on the second one. I mean, that's not how it works. People need to sit down. Okay, back to the wedding videography thing or a caterer. The price will depend on other factors. How many people? How large is the crowd? What kind of dishes is it? Is it continental dish or local dish? How many servings? What else? Those of you who are caterers, you know the kind of things that you have to consider. And then if it's a destination wedding, where is the destination? You have to figure in your costs. Because if they get you to cater to the wedding, it's an Abuja wedding, you're based in Abuja, no problem. But if they call you, the wedding is a destination wedding, maybe on a fancy beach in Ghana. I wonder if Ghana has beaches. I mean, is Ghana landlocked? Okay, we have Niger here. Then next is Benin. Okay, no, Cameroon is on one side. Then Benin Republic. Then Ghana. Anyway, my geography teacher, I know if you're listening to this podcast now, you'll be crying that I didn't learn anything. I'm really sorry. I passed the exam, back when I was in school, but I haven't read geography since, so I've forgotten a few things. Anyway, but bottom line is you have to be considering all these things. So, summary of what I'm trying to say is, if you're a service provider and somebody is sending you this kind of message saying that, come with us, let us make your website will solve all the problems, please ignore that message. It's not going to work for you. But if you sell diapers, and if you sell human hair, or if you sell palm slippers, or you sell things like that, then fine. Call this guy back and say, oh, I saw your message. So this is your miracle website. How's this thing going to work? And then continue the conversation with the person. So for the rest of us who are service providers, you're better off learning how to sell. You're better off learning how to have conversations with people so that people ghost you less. After all, that's where this guy was coming from. That if you come up with this magic website, people will stop ghosting you. If you sell diapers and human hair, yes, it can lead to less ghosting. But if you're a professional service provider, no. Learn how to have better conversations and then people will ghost you less. Learn how to get better at conversions. Conversions just means you're getting people to take the next step with you. If you're better at conversions, then people ghost you less. So that's the challenge for service providers. But summary, if you must do WhatsApp outreach like this guy, I've already given you the pointers about how you should shrink down the message, how you should use a problem-based opener, and how you should think of engaging people in the conversation instead of sending one long message that requires plenty scrolling and you think that is going to close the deal for you. Sales is a conversation. Let us learn to start talking to people instead of broadcasting at them. Please, I'm begging you guys. Sales is a conversation. Let us learn to start talking to people instead of broadcasting at. Even when we send the broadcast, the goal is to get somebody to reply so that we can start a conversation. So that's all for today. If you'd love to connect for a strategy session, a business audit, or you have some questions you want me to answer, the number to call or WhatsApp is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234 for those of you who are not Nigerian. Then you can connect with me on LinkedIn. The name to look for is Tavishima Ayede. I have a YouTube channel, the same name as well. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording. But a warning though, Spotify sent me a message that their service is going to be undergoing maintenance on March 11th. So March 11th, you guys might not hear from me. But apart from that, I'll catch you guys in the next episode.